Tucked between the towering glass and steel of Center City, Philadelphia, there's a shopping center you may have walked past 100 times, maybe without even noticing. Everybody in Philly knows One Liberty Place. It was the first real modern skyscraper to be built in the city back in the 80s. And for many years it held the title of Philly's tallest building. But what some people might not realize is that at the base of this building sits a small mall, the Shops at Liberty Place. For many years, there was a gentleman's agreement in Philadelphia that no building should rise higher than the William Penn statue atop City Hall. But that all changed in the 80s when Rouse and Associates built One Liberty Place, a 945-foot, 61-story skyscraper that redefined the city's skyline. The building was designed by German architect Helmut Jahn and completed in 1987. Phase 2 of the project included the construction of a second, slightly shorter building called 2 Liberty Place, along with the Ritz-Carlton Hotel and the Shops at Liberty Place. The mall itself opened on November 13, 1990. The timing of the mall's opening was unfortunate because it was during the late 80s, early 90s recession. When the mall first opened, there were 50 stores and 14 restaurants, which translated to a roughly 75% occupancy rate. I wouldn't quite call this a dead mall yet. It could be doing better, but it could also be doing a lot worse. Its website currently lists 34 stores and restaurants, and I counted an occupancy rate of, I think, 65 to 70%. It seems like most of the places that are open are in the center of the mall, while some of the corridors, like this one, are pretty deserted. Located in the center court of the mall is a striking glass dome rotunda, inspired by the New York Botanical Garden. Pretty cool if you ask me. One of the biggest draws to this mall is the food court. It's actually one of the better mall food courts in the area, and because it's downtown, it attracts a steady lunch crowd from the surrounding office buildings. I remember coming here during weekday lunch hour quite a few times when I was in college, and the food court was always packed. You should have seen the line at Chick-fil-A, which is sadly no longer here. Even so, there are very few vacancies in the food court and plenty of options to choose from. One thing I'm not entirely sure about is whether this mall is trying to be upscale. I really wouldn't call it upscale personally. It does have a few higher end names like Joseph A. Bank and Bloomingdale's Outlet, although that's not quite the same as a regular Bloomingdale's, but still. But at the same time, it's home to plenty of typical mall stores like Bath & Body Works, Claire's, and GNC. So in terms of the stores and services offered, it definitely feels more like an average mall than a true luxury shopping center. Maybe it was more upscale at one point, but there's really not much information online about what stores were here in the past. And I've got to be honest, I was never here until 2018, so I don't have any personal memories of the mall from before that. It'll be interesting to see what the future holds for the shops at Liberty Place. We've already seen the struggles at the nearby Fashion District, or the Gallery, despite millions spent trying to revive it. Center City just isn't what it used to be anymore, especially after the pandemic. Many people are still working from home at least part of the week, and SEPTA still isn't back to 100% service. In fact, SEPTA might be facing further cuts in the near future. Then, of course, there's the rise of crime and just the decline of physical retail in general. For now, the shops at Liberty Place is holding on, but like a lot of malls today, its long-term future feels far from certain. That's going to wrap up this tour of the shops at Liberty Place in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I'd like to hear your thoughts in the comments and your memories of the place if you've been here before. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing too if you haven't already. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon. So long, shops at Liberty Place.